suffer from mental health problems. Research conducted at King's College London found that depression and anxiety were among the most common disorders. Let's turn to Nuala Murphy, who's the Chief Exec for Moment Health. It's a pregnancy mental health app. Nuala, welcome to you. We're familiar, I suppose, with postpartum mental problems, mental health problems, the baby blues, postnatal depression, but actually mental health problems for expectant mothers, that's less explored, it seems.
Yes, good morning, Colin. Thanks very much. We know that women in pregnancy start to develop signs and symptoms of mental ill health, be it depression or anxiety or associated anxieties. And Moment Health is a technology company that is focused on offering early intervention to these through signs and symptom checking, mood tracking, and location to where you can get help.
Yeah, and I mean, there'll be some people who say, actually, you know, what people need in that situation, when they're worried, inevitably worried about pregnancy in its own right, which with all the potential pitfalls that come with that, the correct person to talk to is a clinician, perhaps a midwife, maybe a GP.
Yes, and this is true. Technology is an opportunity for those who are suffering in pregnancy to identify their symptoms. We know through research that 70% of those who suffer from mental ill health don't recognise their symptoms. And for us, we want to provide a companion so that you can first and foremost realise that you're not going mad, that you're suffering from a treatable illness, and where to get help. And we've worked with clinicians and researchers and medical professionals to offer this complementary tool to going to see your GP, for example.
Nuala, is there any danger? I'm sure we'll get people emailing and saying that the build-up, the run-up to giving birth for an expectant mother. I mean, it's daunting enough given the physical changes, given the sheer act of giving birth. I mean, apprehension would be a perfectly natural response to that encounter with the reality of giving birth. We shouldn't necessarily medicalise it by looking for mental health problems. It's just a natural anxiety, some might say.
Yes, and there's different types of anxiety. So some anxiety is good anxiety, like you say, and the apprehension when it comes to a life-changing event and a physical event, which is giving birth. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about when your feelings are of low or different mood, or you are anxious on a consistent level. And part of what we offer in the app, and it's on consultation with researchers and medical professionals, is a mood tracker, so that you can get a good overview of the change in your moods, and if that's consistently changing in your daily activities, or you can't do certain things. So whereas I appreciate a lot of people will be anxious about having a baby, we can't ignore what the research is telling us is that 27% of pregnant women are suffering some form of mental ill health, and if that's left, then that goes on into postnatal depression. It affects the whole family as well. So we need to be mindful that there are issues in pregnancy. Let women know that if they aren't feeling their best, that they can talk to someone, where they can talk to them in a non-judgmental space. And ultimately, our mission is to provide early intervention and to make maternal mental health mainstream. That's it.
Yeah. And when there are problems, Nuala, how much of that is a function of the sheer chemical changes in a woman's body throughout pregnancy?
So I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, and that question is very much one for someone who is qualified. In the run-up to Moment Health and launching and developing our innovation, which is the app, we have consulted with many different people, and that's a medical question, and I'm not a medical person or qualified to answer.
Okay, Nuala, we've enjoyed talking to you. Thanks very much indeed. If people want to get hold of your app, it's easily available, I'm sure. Thanks very much indeed.